power and they have no health. Or they're very healthy, buffed up, but they have no intelligence. Or they have a lot of power, no money, or they have a lot of money and no wisdom. So everyone is kind of like running around, flying around with one wing, flipping in circles, as if they are very, most of the people have been so busy all their life, going around in circles. They lie to themselves that I'm doing something every day. I'm creating some change every day. But at the end, people just, all they want is some peace within themselves and authentic health. And I have so many clients coming to see me and say, I'm actually really healthy. I'm a really healthy person, except I have cancer. Or I'm really healthy, except I'm a diabetic. Now, this is scary. The mind is so split. They can't even see common sense anymore. So what I use Healy for is I really love the system that it's unpeeling that illusion away from people. So when you clean up, when you put people through a pure program or a release program, they unpeel one layer of onion, then other shit will come up to the surface. Then you unpeel it again and another layer will come up. So lots of people sensationalize Healy, saying that this is a cure-all. No, it is another wing that you have to build. This Healy is a tool. It's an amazing, powerful, beautiful tool, a brainchild of a divine person who probably had downloaded this experience when he was in a cave as a monk, right? He was unhappy with science by itself. Then he was unhappy with that sitting in a cave by itself. So he combined those two things together. He realized one wing can't fly. The bird needs two wings to fly. So he then give birth to that idea. And then some other divine being come along and say, here's a lot of money, go and make it happen. Now, as far as I'm concerned, that is a divine manifestation. And so do I want to support that? I've been retired for 10 years now. I love walking on the beach. I love having no stress, nothing, right? I worked very, very hard for 20 years and I retired. So now this Healy is kind of like taking me out of my retirement. I feel that it's kind of like a crime against humanity if I don't do something with it. That's how I feel about it. A lot of people do not know how it works, and they are buying 10, 15 units before they even see it. Now, do I really care? No, because these people have such a strong belief that this thing is going to work with me. Now, do I really care how it works? As long as these people have this strong faith that this is going to work for me, it's going to work. Because now the earth is going through a transition. Manifestation power is really amazing now. We're having all this cosmic ray coming through. We are getting so much support and so much help. And enough ignorance. Enough is enough. And so many people realize I've been kind of like living this lie. And I'm done with pain. I'm done with all this suffering. I'm done with the story that I have written about me being a victim. I no longer want to be a victim. So good on them to declare their freedom from their victimhood. And it's amazing, this Healy, this little beautiful thing in their hand can really interface with that a little bit of that awakening that, wow, I was such a victim yesterday. And now after I run this program, I'm no longer feeling like I'm a victim. Now, just that alone, it is enough to create some quantum shift in this whole humanity. And it's can't be any more timely. So thank you very much, Marcus. And thank you, Taryn. Your energy is very infectious. Your two of you are incredibly powerful duo. So thank you for bringing this into Australia. Your beautiful heart, both of you, your beautiful heart and beautiful spirit are very coherent, very, very coherent. You love this thing and it's written all over you, and good on you for your success. Like I'm 20, 25 years older than you are. And I'm just give me so much joy to see you guys blossom in front of me. It's incredible. And you are influencing all the other people. You are empowering all the other people. And so I praise you. Every single day, you're living the day of your life. You're living the dream of your life. You're getting paid a fortune, a fucking fortune, and good on you. Fantastic. And go and make other people to do the same. So I'm here. I'm fully supportive of you. And I will come out of my retirement and I will be supporting this product all the way through.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Ong. Look, I see even in Mike's eyes how he's like sparkling and being proud of you. I love it. And it's so, what a game-changing device, Marcus. I don't know, maybe one question on you, Marcus. Did you, when you developed this one, when you brought it into the network marketing and attracting all those people who like seeing this unicorn device and want to make money with it, is that the result you really expected, that it really raises the consciousness of so many people and attract these amazing people out? Just what we have on the call now is so powerful, and we have 150 people watching us live now is so powerful. Like, did you know that this is happening that way? Was that your intention to create exactly what's happening today?
You know, it's very difficult to trace the even one's own way, why things happened. You know, you mentioned the cave. So I was definitely sitting in a cave, but that's not in this lifetime. In this lifetime, I have visited many caves, but even as a monk, I was not meditating in a cave. But
Luciano did.
I yes, he did. I admire this very much, but I have access to some memory and resonances from a life where I was sitting a lot in caves and meditating as a Buddhist monk. But this is more than 1,000 years ago. In not only in ancient China, but this monk visited India from China by foot, walking through the Silk Road and coming through Kashmir to India and crossing India all over. And his intention was to connect the Chinese and the Indian culture on the level of spirituality, you know, because they had Buddhism in China at that time, but Buddhism came from India, but the reconnection was not established. So when I look at my life, and I recently went through many of my memories and my dreams, and I visited India for so many years, every year to stay months, like more than 20 years. The time when I was monk, I spent a lot of time in India. Then later, you know, but at one point, like 5 years or 6 years ago, I started to travel to China, first to Taiwan, and then also to China. And I had this flash of this culture being a part of me also, which I just didn't know before, you know, and then all this resonances to this former lives and my Buddhist past, you know. In this life, I didn't become a Buddhist monk, but a Vaishnava monk in a Vedic tradition, which comes more from India. So if I look at my life and I see many stages in between this 1,350 years ago and now, probably many incarnations, and then, you know, waking up in this life, and, you know, we come in this life and we don't really have a clear written plan what to do. So I followed my intuition a lot. And normally I acted very spontaneously. If I got an idea, immediately act and then see how it goes. And even shortly before the end, if it doesn't feel good, I will go back. So the same happened with when I started Time Waver. This is like 14 years ago. I said, this thing is not a product. It cannot be sold as a product. And I cannot be financially depending on it. Whenever I start to become financially depending on it, I have to go out of it. I have to stop it because it's not a product. What does it mean it's not a product? You know, we don't sell time wavers, but the people come to us who have the resonance, and it's amazing people all over the world. So, but, yeah, so then doing time of a long time, then, you know, I met Nununina and I met many people, and then the idea just manifested. We have to bring it to the people. We have to bring it to the people. People need to become independent. They need to become independent even from the therapist, you know, but still in my mind, this vision of reaching then more than 100 million families with it. You know, it was also a spontaneous, I even believe I was on stage in 2017 in June in front of 700 people, and I was and this number just came to my mind. There was no plan behind, no business plan. We just launched it internally to our own people. But I believe on stage, I said, we need to bring it to 100 million people in 10 years. I was surprised myself. After this presentation, one man came to me and he said, Markus, when you said this 100 million number, I got goose pimples all over my body, and I decided I want to help doing it. And he became our own sales, our first sales, how is it called? Sales leader, sales director, or whatever. Chief sales officer. Yeah, that's a technical term. And, you know, and just the vision, just the vision formed and got the people together. So having this number in my mind, 100 million families having a Healy, I mean, how to achieve it? You know, this question was there, how to achieve it? And at one point I knew it can only happen from person to person. It's the only way, because it's really, it's inspiring the people from inside, and then they have they are empowered to give it to the next person and to many people. So in this way, it was never planned to start a multi-level marketing, for sure not, for sure not. The last thing I would have imagined to do when I was a monk, I feel I never stopped being a monk, you know. I don't see any point in my life where I stopped being a monk. Maybe, okay, when I met my wife, first time, but the inner spirit, the spiritual path, you know, I don't feel any difference. There is no difference. So life is just an amazing journey, which if you have the right vision and the right intention, the things happen according to this.
Mm.
Oh, like beautiful.
And I'm so curious what's gonna happen next. I feel this, yeah, I feel this whole situation in which we are all right now, you know, connected to my own situation. Max knows I also went through a very intense personal process to become much more clear about myself and what I gonna do. And then the Corona thing came on top of it, you know, but now I feel things are opening so much up, you know. I'm sitting in a room which has 36-degree windows almost. It's round. Max knows that he was there. I just feel to be in an ocean of unlimited potential. So this is what is my feeling in this moment, you know. I want to visit you in Bali, but unfortunately, that's not possible now.
We want you all to come and visit us in Bali.
And it will become true, because this is our intention, guys. So, but anyway, it's so happy also for us to see you being so excited again, you know, and sharing with us all this wisdom, because I know, yeah, it was the end of last year where a lot of things have changed for you, but it had to be this way. And it's actually interesting to see, you know, it's also our journey and so many journeys of all of us. This little device, you know, giving into a hand of, for example, I'm talking about myself now. I didn't expect anything to happen, but it completely shifted and changed everything in my life. It really changed. And the moment I saw my
Don't scare the people too much. You know what? Don't scare the people too much who want to use Healy.
This call is about spirituality, so only people who are really spirituality and enlightenment want to watch it. So we okay. But here's what's happening, right? When we do it now with the network marketing, and you said it so beautifully before, it's like it's attracting so many people who see this unicorn product, you know, who see the opportunity, no competition. We're creating a category. It's so easy to sell. It's something we don't have anything on the market like that. It's easy. So the people with the big watches, the big cars, everybody comes and say like, this is what I want to do. And it comes to them. The money is coming to them. But one thing they can't deny, and this is also for me, and that was my intention. That was my intention. I had that unicorn product. I thought, this is beautiful. No competition. But one thing I didn't expect is the awareness it created for myself. It is the feeling that it created for myself that I really started getting in touch with something I didn't know before. And no matter how much money you want, what your material aims are, what your goals are, whatever, if you put this device on and you keep on wearing it, you understand this is not only flesh and blood. Something is shifting. Something is raising your consciousness to a different level. And I think this is ultimately what we are doing with you without knowing it, maybe, that you put, of course, it had to be person to person. And bringing into network marketing, this is exactly the way it had to be, because now we're meeting beautiful people like Luciano here, and he has this amazing philosophy around his word, and it's so beautiful how he's connected with nature, and we learn so much from you, Luciano, by teaching us. But people like him, he's not reaching the people out in these communities, in this world, being stuck in their flying around with one wing, you know, he can't reach those people. Now with the network marketing and with this incredible device, which is creating wealth, freedom, abundance, opportunity for so many people, you can't help it. But we're creating those little communities of spiritual people around the world and creating a ripple effect. And the more people use it, the more they're raising the consciousness, the more we raise the consciousness of the whole planet. And this is the beauty. And this is why we had to go into the network marketing. If we would have only sell it to the people who understand frequency, energy, spiritual communities, we would never get there. Now we get them all, you know, and this is the amazing thing. And it happened on me, and I'm the best example for this, because I didn't understand anything about spirituality. I was going for the material, but it made that shift to me. And that's why I'm so blessed to have you guys on the call. You know, it's like, I see like I'm absorbing all this information for any of you guys, each one of you guys. And it just fulfills me with bliss. And I want to know more of it. It's like a continuous journey, which is never supposed to end. And it's just so beautiful. And I see like more and more of these little flowers popping up, you know, and start blooming. And this is what Healy ultimately creates. It's just raising the consciousness of completely everyone who's using it continuously, if you want it or not, but it goes into complete right direction. So I'm so blessed about it.
It's crazy because it's actually almost like Hong, when you were talking about back 5,000 years ago, where they were really paid to make people well, not to keep them sick, you know, to have everyone healthy. And the healthier they were, obviously, the more they were going to get paid to eliminate illness and dis-ease and unbalance out of people. It's now like we're all kind of moving back to that, where we're able to share this within a network and create that self-responsibility for everyone and that empowerment for everyone. So that's what's just so incredible with this.
So
yeah, exactly. So people are now given a chance to really discover that they have the power to become their own healer. And so in the center of the most basic fundamental consciousness is creativity. That's one thing I want to share here with people. Try not to think in terms of disease, because they're all labels. So 5,000 years ago or 2,000 years ago, we don't have any labels. We don't have words like heart attack. We don't have any terms like endometriosis or migraine headaches or anything like that. So try to think in terms of energy. Energy, if something is blocked, just think of your pipe in your house, right? Human body is just like a complete plumbing system with multiple systems interacting with each other, managed by a higher level of energetic frequency. So your body is like a plumbing system. So if your pipe, one of the pipe is blocked, then the whole house, basically anything that connecting to that pipe is blocked. So even if you don't understand the frequency very, very much at all, just run your Go cycle. When one pipe is blocked, it lightens the load of the other pipes. So you'll lighten the loads. And if two pipes are unblocked, then it lightens the load of the other five pipes that are blocked. So it doesn't matter which frequency you actually run. As long as you create certain balance, as long as you restore certain balance, as long as you decrease something that is too much, which is inflammation, you reduce the inflammation. As long as you pick up something that is deficient, eventually the whole thing will just go back to balance. Now, without that basic balance, you're pretty fucked. So, so go back to creating the balance. Do whatever you can to create that balance. You know, just the Go cycle itself is a wonderful place to start. And so when we're talking about spirituality, everybody's understanding of spirituality is very, very different. Some people's spirituality is about love and light and shining lights or whatever. Now, mine, it's a complete different picture altogether. You know, my spirituality, it's pretty much digging internally. So it's not an outer journey, it's an internal journey. And so it's really going deeper and deeper and deeper into that place where I really do not want to go. And I have to go through that. And it's to go and create that heaven, to build a heaven in your hell. You can't live the hell. You can't create a heaven outside yourself. You have to create it internally. And I think Marcus also talked once before about the Holy Grail. You know, what exactly is that? What exactly is spirituality? Every single person must go and define that. Can't go and throw that word around as if it's some kind of cheap, fashionable bag. It's not. It's not a joke. It's not a toy. It is something pretty serious. Because if you don't take it seriously, you're not going to evolve. You're just going to pretend that you're evolving and that it's going to. That is something that you really don't want. You don't want to lie about personal evolution. You don't want to lie about you being the creator if you're still thinking in terms of victimhood at all. So, you know, hopefully that Healy is going to help you to have that awareness. If you're lying, it's going to identify you are lying. You need to be brave enough to identify that shit, I'm lying. I'm actually repeating the same pattern again. And so run another program to collapse that. So you can stand into that shoes, into the power. You have unlimited power. But if your mind is so limited, if your mind is actually inside a tiny little box, it doesn't matter how much unlimited power people are going to give you. You just won't be able to receive it. So step outside that box. Allow yourself to shine that light. But before you can shine that light, you have to be brave enough to actually look at the dark side and include that, embrace that, and transform that. Don't deny it. Everything is connected. Light and dark, yin and yang, they're all connected. It's actually one together. So when you deny your darkness, you are actually denying your light at the same time. So that's like, you know, try not to think that, oh, I'm just all full of light and I'm full of love and stuff like that. You know, by building your strength through your vulnerability is the greatest strength. People running around saying, I want my freedom, I want my sovereignty. You can't have your freedom, you can't have your sovereignty until you develop your self-responsibility. What does that mean? It means that everything that you have created in your life, good or bad, shit or flower or whatever, it is your own creation, no one else. Do that first, own that first, run your program to get to that place first. Then you can talk about spirituality. Then you can talk about freedom. Then you can talk about sovereignty. Okay, I'm not very compassionate in that regard. I'm kind of like quite cutthroat and quite ruthless in that regard. But because it's not, you know, spiritual road, it's not all full of flowers. It's not just paved with roses. Like Marcus has to sacrifice his peace to come and do this for us. This is a man's decision to put someone else's, you know, to put someone